signal is definitely being sent, is that this is very, very important to Russia, and that the international community needs to listen to what Russia thinks about the post-war settlement in the Caucasus. So very, very important.
But just how important is the outcome of this debate?
It's symbolic at this point, and rhetoric. It's rhetorical. Russia's really saying we're at the abyss there. We can step over it. We can go over the line. The dots are being connected right now. President Medvedev has made it very clear that Russia will recognize the desires of the people on the ground, Abkhazia and South Ossetia. Now we have the legislative bodies moving in that direction as well. It's really up to Mr. Medvedev to connect those dots, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime fast.
But the outcome is going to be fairly obvious, isn't it? That there will be support.
The outcome is obvious to me, is that South Ossetia and Abkhazia will never be ruled by Tbilisi ever again. That's the only thing we know. There's a lot of unknowns out there. How fast would they move towards independence? We don't know.
What is the process? There's a debate today, then as you said earlier it goes to the President Medvedev, and then what would happen after that if he agrees that, yes, Russia will recognize their independence? What happens after that?
Well, then we're going to have the international community saying they agree or they disagree. You have other members of the United Nations Security Council that would veto their seat at in the General Assembly. They would never, like Kosovo. We'll get another Kosovo. That is not a country that is not recognized in the world. Though this may not really make a whole lot of difference to South Ossetia and Abkhazia, because that's the existence they've been living with for the last 15 years.
Peter, we can now go live to the Federation Council, the Russian Parliament's upper house. We can bring you the pictures of the session, which is about to begin here in central Moscow. Now, the Federation Council members, along with their colleagues in the State Duma, they've interrupted, as we've already said, their summer break. And we can now see them in session there discussing the future status of the breakaway republics of South Ossetia and Abkhazia. We're going to be hearing from the presidents of these breakaway republics.
From Abkhazia, for sure. Certainly they're going to be making a statement. They're going to appreciate the support that they're getting from Russia. It's very, very important after what they have gone through. But I really want to stress this: the Tbilisi has been pulled out of the equation here right now. This is very important for Russia to tell the world that it will not tolerate another conflict in that part of the world.
In view of the recent events, just how much support or cooperation will there be from the West for these attempts for independence?
Well, they'll say this is unprecedented. It's inappropriate, and then Russia's going to turn around and say, what about Kosovo? You did this to Kosovo. Really, it's not about South Ossetia or Abkhazia. It's about Kosovo, about the precedent that a small number of powerful countries in the West can determine who has independence and who doesn't, against international law. Now, Russia will say, look, this is international law. You've broken it. But if you break it, everyone else is going to keep breaking it. Why should we adhere to the rules? See, this is what's really wrong. Personally, I hope that Russia thinks long and hard before giving legal recognition to these two breakaway republics, because there's a certain number of events that start playing out, and it may not be good for the world, it may not be good for Russia.
If you were to adhere to traditional democratic process, you would listen to the people.
Well, this is what we're seeing right now, and I give Russia a lot of respect for that. They're listening to the people on the ground. And Mr. Saakashvili has lost the moral authority, I stress this, the moral authority to have control over these breakaway republics. And Russia is saying it's taking responsibility for the security in the Caucasus.
Perhaps could we go to the status quo where we see a frozen conflict continuing?
Well, Bill, that's probably the most likely outcome that we're going to see in the medium term. They're a frozen conflict. And as I like to keep saying on RTs, they're frozen conflicts for a reason, because the resolution is so very difficult.
Well, we're talking. There's a lot of talk going on. Both houses of Parliament there in central Moscow holding discussions on the breakaway regions. Is this likely to end in a vote, or is it just simply a debate?
Absolutely in a vote, and this is very important that the Parliament is doing this in the name of the Russian people. This is very important for the Russian people as well, that they've been watching these events here, and they've seen how Russia is going into, it will help its citizens around the world. These were citizens that were attacked by Saakashvili in South Ossetia and Abkhazia. This is a moral element that we're seeing here, that Russia's people will be protected across the border.
Many people talking at this session. Will it take a long time? I mean,
Well,
we're starting now right about 10:13 Moscow time.
This is going to be a very important venue for a lot of members to express their patriotism and Russia's foreign policy and how it's changing. Yes, I think we're going to have a lot of commentary here before the vote.
And as we're watching the pictures here, we're bringing them to you here on RT. Peter and I are just discussing the implications of this meeting. If you just joined us, talking about the support that's going to be measured within the State Duma today. Some people have likened this situation to where the regions may get recognition from only Russia, and very similar to the Cyprus situation, where Turkey recognises northern Cyprus. Do you see a parallel with that?
It's very possible here. It's very possible when they're not ironing out, not crossing all the T's and dotting the I's. It's a very, very sticky situation here. But let's think about the people in South Ossetia and Abkhazia. They're going to have a sense of relief that they're going to be protected. Finally, there was a ceasefire for 10 years, but it wasn't enough. War happened anyway. This will give them confidence that the Georgians won't do it ever again. And then the implications for NATO expansion is out there too. Will NATO absorb a member like this that has such a difficult territorial problem? Probably not.